Hi and welcome. This is Marnie. I am excited to share with you the What If webinar. If you are in a big hurry, go ahead and click your settings there and increase the speed so you can listen to this at 1.5 speed or 2.0 speed, whatever. I just want to share this inspiring information with you so that you can join the What If movement if that makes sense to you. We're going to talk about how to move from fear to peace and discover how you can help America today. America is beautiful. It is the land of the brave and the home of the free. And maybe more to the point today, this land is your land and this land is my land. And I want to welcome right now my friends who are Democrats and my friends who are Republicans. I would like to welcome every person who's on any level of the spectrum with COVID, whether you are still sheltering at home for whatever reason, or whether you're somebody who has had questions about the legitimacy of all of this the whole time. I'm welcoming all of my friends of every color, and I have friends of every color, nationality, and home base around the world. So I just encourage you to listen with an open heart and an open mind and know that I'm not coming here as any of these things. I'm coming here as your friend and as someone who's observed some things and have been asking some questions about what's going on here. And so what I want to do during this program is I want to just share with you 4 mental shifts to help you process conflicting input, because I'm hearing from so many people, I'm so confused. I wish I just could get to the bottom of things. Also, 2 pivotal comparisons that I need you to see. I want to share with you my peace plan for 2021. It's an acronym, so you can remember it. Also, the key principle to remember as we go forward, and a little bit about the What If 2021 movement, as well as a call to faith, courage, and hope. So as we get going, mental shift number 1 is truth is like light. So if you walk into a dark gymnasium and you need to get from one side of it over to the other, but when the door shuts behind you, all the light is gone. And now you realize that you hadn't looked around very well when the door was open. You don't know if there's equipment out on the gym floor. So instead of being able to walk directly from one point to the other, you have to pick your way slowly across the gymnasium because you don't have enough light to see where you're going. So everything feels sluggish and slow and a little maybe scary and disconcerting. But what if some kind soul turned on the lights for you? They went and they turned on all those gym lights, and all of a sudden you're about a third of the way across and the lights come on and bam, now you can see there is nothing in your way. You can just make your way clearly across to the other side of the gym. That is what I'm asking you to do as we go forward into 2021, is to seek truth and to find it. Because when you actually see the truth, you will not be afraid anymore. There will still be things that will concern you, yes, but you don't need to be afraid and tiptoeing around like you are right now in the dark with so many conflicting images and things coming at us. It's very disconcerting. Mental shift number 2 is that you can make a difference. So when I think of this, I think of people in the Bible like Elijah, Noah, Joseph, an individual who made a tremendous difference in history. And I think of even this fall, I did a series for women called Christian Women Vote. It was a bipartisan call to come out and vote. And I believe possibly because the words Christian and women were used together. But anyway, I was banned from Twitter at that time. And anybody who knows me knows I'm not really a, highly offensive tweeter. But anyway, even one person can make a difference. And I brought that up because I was thinking, even being banned from Twitter, and now as of this week, having some of my content censored at Facebook, even though from my perspective, there is nothing inflammatory about it. It doesn't matter. I mean, I still have a voice. And even if I wrote a song years ago, if my voice is gone, my spirit will sing on. So you can make a difference no matter what is going on, no matter who's telling you you can't. Also, mental shift number 3 is I believe the perceived issue is bait. Now, this is a big one, you guys. So what I really think that there is a concerted effort to try to pitch us as Americans against each other. So if you were given the task of causing a superpower to implode on itself. If that was your job, somebody assigned you the task of spearheading the responsibility in the job of imploding a superpower, how would you go about it? Well, I'm going to share with you something in a few minutes that I believe will clarify this, but I believe that that's exactly what's happening. I believe that somewhere, someone, something is intentionally baiting us to fight with each other in order to get us ready to implode. And I think that if you can adopt that, all of the rest of the things that I'm going to say will make sense. And I'll give you a few more examples in a moment. Mental shift number 4 is America is the melting pot of the world. We have always been required to agree to disagree. When you are putting this many cultures together, this many religions together, this many people together, we have always agreed to disagree. Until recently, we have agreed to just fight about everything. And when did that change? Because we are Americans. Americans are amazing. And so let's go back to agreeing to disagree with people who don't hold the same view. And, even people who trip your hot buttons. Let's agree to disagree. Let's move forward. So the first comparison I want to do is the Rwandan genocide of 1994. Now, I had the amazing opportunity to speak on reconciliation in Rwanda during their 25th anniversary. While I was there, I heard their story from their words. I visited their museum, the Genecide Museum. And I tell you what, it was far more horrific than I ever imagined it could be. First of all, the thing that we all know, that hundreds of thousands of people died in Rwanda during the genocide. What I didn't know, what I didn't understand, was that there was a power in play there that equipped militants with weapons and instructed them somehow to go out and to get the population to kill each other. Now, that just seems absolutely unbelievable, but it's the truth. It's what happened. And so what they would do, and these are from firsthand stories that I had in Rwanda from Rwandans. What they had people do is they would go to a home and they would pull out the man of the house and they would give him a machete or whatever it was. And they would say, "You will kill your neighbor and his family, or we will kill first your wife, then your oldest child, then your second, then your baby, and then we will torture you to death." And if that man didn't kill his neighbor's family, even in one story, the neighbor's family, they were the godparents basically of each other's kids. They had supper together every Saturday night. I mean, this is incredible. This is incredible. So when you think about be a plan to implode us, this is what it is. And what happened is, because now you imagine yourself in that situation, which you can't do. I mean, I do a whole brain training on this in the Success Principles Intensive, where we understand how the brain thinks. Now, you put any brain in that situation, that is a total lose-lose situation. It is an inconceivable choice that had to be made by thousands of individuals. And as the person was crushed into doing something they would never, ever have done, which was give in and let their family be killed or kill, their brains fried. Their brains literally could not handle the trauma of this. And those people actually turned into killing machines. It was absolutely unbelievable to experience there, to hear the experiences there. It all started with one event. And I believe that this is really important to catch this. Underlying tension is being built up to a breaking point where it's just going to take one thing for us to explode and implode. So for Rwanda, it was that on the night of April 6, 1994, a plane carrying the then president and his counterpart, both Hutus, was shot down, killing everyone on board. This caused the Hutus to blame the Tutsis for that and began the genocide. By the end of the 100-day killing spree, around 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus had been killed. Even priests and nuns had killed, and husbands had killed their own wives. If you don't think it is possible for rage to do this, you do not understand the power of rage and the complexity of our brains and how too much is too much, and you could push someone over the edge into doing something they would never otherwise do. I have another comparison for you. Tiananmen Square, this one is more well known. And this happened in 1989, where thousands of students had gathered in Tiananmen Square. And there was a massacre because there came a point when they said, "We will silence you. We will not hear you anymore. We do not want to hear this chanting. We are going to take over the country. You will not have anything to do with this." They just opened fire on the students and killed thousands of students that day. They silenced the students. So, knowing that this is a possibility, that in fact, I just want to go back to this for a second. I know people who are I love you. You completely disagree that there should have been the peaceful rally on the Washington Square on January 6th. You are completely opposed to that. And I love you. That is your right. I had a husband and two sons who were actually there, peacefully protesting concern that they had over what they viewed as voting fraud, some voting inconsistencies. Now, wherever you're on that topic or any topic, remember the goal here is to get us to fight with each other. So just listen to me for a minute. I have friends whose family members were marching after the George Floyd killing in the summer. And there were hundreds of thousands of people of all colors marching together peacefully to say, this has got to stop. This has got to change. This is wrong. Somebody pay attention. This is wrong. But they could not find news coverage of the marches in which their families were peacefully marching until there was violence. And then after that, only coverage of the violence. Now, why wasn't the peaceful marching of hundreds of thousands of people newsworthy? That's the question. What if somehow that was unintentionally intentional or something? January 6th, I had family members on the plaza in D.C., and I was concerned. I knew the story of Tiananmen Square, and I was concerned because I believe that we are at a point now where it's not going to take too much for us to explode and implode. And so I was checking everywhere for news. And my family members and others, hundreds of thousands, they think close to 1 million people were on the plaza peacefully protesting what they viewed as a concern over potential voting fraud. And nothing, no news coverage. I couldn't find anything until when? Answer my question for me, because you've seen it. How many times have you seen the clip of the violence? Nothing until the violence started. And then the violence only lasted. I mean, I am sad. Believe me, I am sad about the violence. And I am heartbroken for the loss of lives and for those who were injured. I am not minimizing the violence at all. What I am saying is that what about all the voices who were peacefully protesting something, which is the way we do it in America? We peacefully protest when we see that there's something wrong. Where was the coverage of that? And why, after the fact, are you only getting to see one little clip? I believe that it is our own version of Tiananmen Square. Oh, praise God, I am so grateful that my family members and the hundreds of thousands of people on the plaza that day were not mowed down with guns. And honestly, before my family went, I thought that that was a possibility. I know enough of history to be aware that that was a possibility. Praise God, it didn't happen. But I do believe that in a way, they were silenced. Just like the students were silenced, The people in the Black Lives Matters marches that were peacefully protesting and the people on the mall plaza were silenced. We could not see them. We could not hear them. We were given a scenario. We were expected to believe that, and most of us did. So the peace plan going forward. This is the good part, right? Okay, so we're going to pray for peace, mercy, and peace. We're going to extend love at a radical level. We're going to act by faith, concentrate on truth versus dissension, and encourage peace. First of all, pray for mercy and peace. Honestly, you guys, we do not as a country deserve mercy or peace. We, just the cries of the aborted unborn children alone are enough to make me believe that if we get peace, it is purely a gift from God. We cannot possibly earn it. America has so far removed prayer from the schools, removed God from the history books, removed God's realities from the halls of Congress. Now, as of last week, that was atrocious. And also, most of us have removed him from our homes. We must repent, we must ask for mercy, and we must move forward like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in a way that says, I'm going to trust God. I'm going to ask God for mercy. I'm going to believe for it. But even if he doesn't come through for me in the way I hope, I'm still going to trust him. So we need to extend love at a radical level. Consider Christ's love on the cross. That was radical. God is love. Satan is hate. If not you extending love, then who? Who's going to turn the tide? If it's not you and me, who's going to do it? We have a choice. We can either add fuel to the fire of hate, or we can fan the flame of love. Let's step up to the plate and extend love at a radical level. We can act by faith. Faith is acting as if. It's acting as if I already knew that what I'm asking for was going to happen. I've had a really tough couple of weeks here. I mean, a lot of crazy intense things have happened to my family, to me, and after I process through. So the analogy I'm using for the faith acting as if, the analogy I'm using as I get slammed by these different things is that when you get in a car accident, you knew that might happen, right? So every day you get in your car and you see other people in accidents all the time. So you know that driving your car, you may get in an accident. But when you are actually in an accident, first you feel shock, then you feel the hit of it, and then you feel the pain of it, right? And it takes you a little while to process that. Sometimes it takes longer if it's a bigger crash. So faith is kind of like that. You may get hit, and you are going to have to process that. But then just keep going, just like you would after a car crash. You don't have to wallow in this or get buried under the fear of it or whatever. In fact, that's the second point, is we need to bravely face our fears and obstacles, confident that God is in control no matter what. The day after I was censored at Facebook, which was, I'll tell you, painful, shocking, disappointing. I just was shocked that it would happen to me. I'm just like this really simple, loving person. So why would they ban me? I'm just me, I mean, it was really a shock, like I got in a car crash. And so what I had to go back to was that God's in control. And the next day after that happened to me, I just posted a normal meme like I post. And the one I chose was, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Don't stay down. If you get knocked down, get back up. And then just do what you would do if you knew for sure that God was going to come through. By faith, act. C is for concentrate. Concentrate on truth versus division. Concentrate on being loving, on tactfully sharing the truth in love. Share one-on-one with people and listen more than you speak. Expect some kickback, anger, and disrespect. Just remember, we've been being trained to be mean to each other, to hate our brothers and sisters, to be really upset with whomever for whatever. I mean, right now, that you don't get up in the morning wanting to be hateful. And yet sometime during the day, right now, something is probably triggering you to be like, I just wish they would stop that. Or how could those people be so stupid? Or why is he doing that? Or why are they allowing that? You're upset a lot right now because you've been trained to be upset a lot right now. You're being baited into it. So it's going to take some time for us personally to step back and react in love. It's going to also take some patience for us to recognize that others who maybe haven't heard this training yet may not understand what's happening to them, and they may kick back at you and be angry at you. I mean, anger has to have somewhere to go, and you have to have somebody to be mad at, right? And so when they don't know who to be mad at, they're just mad at whoever they're told to be mad at or whoever is next to them. So expect some kickback, use loving responses, and pray for a path forward. So that's what I just do. If somebody's being really in my face, I'm just under my breath and in my heart, I'm just saying, Jesus, 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 show me the path forward here. Because when we know the truth sets us free. It sets us free from the bondage of the person in front of us. It sets us free from our own bondage inside of ourselves. It sets us free from any bondage imposed on us by anyone else. So concentrate on truth versus dissension. And then E is for encourage peace and de-escalate dissension. So the whole goal, right, from my perspective, there is a plot, and I don't know if it's purely supernatural. If it is purely supernatural, there are certainly humans involved with it. I think it's a big mistake to say that that must be Trump or that must be Biden or that must be anybody. I think there's a whole bunch of people that are being used right now for evil purposes. But I think that if we're focusing on that, we miss the point. The point is they're trying to get us to be mad at each other and get ready to kill each other. That sounds so weird, except that I was just in Rwanda and I know it can happen. So encourage peace, de-escalate dissension. Ask yourself, have you become a hater? Remember, hell is a raging fire that just keeps raging, whereas God is the consuming fire of love that obliterates hate. So fan the flame of love by being the peacemaker in your space, wherever your space is right now, this minute, this day, this week, this month, this year. Say to yourself as you go into conversations, and if you can, say it out loud. Before we go any further, we are both Americans. Let's agree that we'll probably disagree about some stuff, but I really want to hear your perspective. I really want to hear your heart. I really want to hear why you think that. And as you get triggered, you guys, go back to peace. As you see that you're triggering them, de-escalate. Go back to peace. This is the opportunity we have right now. There's a saying that goes, united we stand, divided we fall. And what's really amazing about that is when I looked that up, when I looked it up on Google, it said that this was by the trader, I can't think of his name now. Anyways, he was a trader early in American history. But actually it came from a hymn. And it came from a hymn that was written during the time of the Civil War, when the Union was fighting to free the slaves and to maintain the unity of an America that was all together instead of divided. United we stand, divided we fall. Does anything about the origin of this song, this phrase, sound familiar to you? In the past year, have we not seen a huge attempt to make us think that all Black people are crazy lunatics who are going out there rioting? We all know that can't be true because we all have close personal friends who are of many cultures, many colors. That cannot be true. But we've been fed that line. Can it be true that all the thousands of people on the mall in DC and all the Republicans can be big rioters who hate everybody except Trump? Is that true? Does that sound true to you? It doesn't sound true to me. It sounds like a plan to divide us and conquer us. So what if in 2021 we start asking some just simple questions? What if instead of fighting with this person right now about something or someone, what if we were to say, we're both Americans, God bless America? What if we just back off? What if we share information in a way that is not triggering? Or if we see it triggering, we work to de-escalate and bring back peace. What if we say, we are going to disagree? I don't think I could bring two people together anywhere on planet Earth right now who would agree about everything. I think it's impossible. We have always agreed to disagree. We live in a country that allows us to vote for our president and to elect the person that the majority wants, and the rest of us deal with it. This time, whether real or imagined, there was enough voter fraud and enough people aware of it that there was a peaceful protest on the lawn in D.C. on the 6th of January that was silenced for some reason. Why, I'm not sure, but it wasn't perceived for what it was. It was turned into something that, again, increased hate, increased dissension, increased the feeling of helplessness, and I just have to do something. And I know that there was violence. There usually is violence in every peaceful protest. Usually there's some people that break out and do that. That doesn't mean that the whole thing was violent. It wasn't. The whole thing was peaceful except for that small pocket for which we are sad. So as you see things that make you say, well, what if this is not about what I was thinking it was about? What if this is a bigger plot to make me hate my brothers, to make us hate each other and fight with each other and just allow things to happen that are sad and wrong? What if that's happening? If you see something like that, when you share it, just share it with pound What If 2021 if you want to. It's just an idea. They'll probably ban this pretty soon anyway, so it's no big deal, but that's the name I'm giving it. What If 2021? I conclude today with just encouragement for you. In Joshua 1:9, the children of Israel were coming into a land that God said they would get to possess. We are already here, you guys. God told Joshua, be strong and very courageous and be careful to obey God's laws. I just encourage you to be strong and very courageous and be careful to obey God's laws. Be careful to obey God and to follow him into whatever he calls you to do. But do it with love, God's love, with peace, God's peace, and with joy. This is Marnie Swedberg. Thank you for joining me. I hope that this was helpful to you, and I hope that you'll share it with anyone you think might benefit from it. Have a wonderful day. Bye.